Black and white or color? Well, that's a very good question. I would say nowadays, if we look at the latest lineup of the big festivals, I would say black and white is very much on vogue. Our beloved president, for example, Agnieszka Holland, has her film in black and white. And I think if it's artistically meaningful, like in her wonderful film, then it really makes a lot of sense. And of course, it's where cinema started, with black and white. What's your favorite movie theaters? Well, you know, there are so many. I'm just gonna name the one in my hood, which is the Filmtheater am Friedrichshain, which I love very much. But maybe allow me a second one, Kino International, a wonderful movie theater here in Berlin. We just celebrated 60th anniversary and is getting renovated. Classic films or contemporary films? Well, what can I say? Is it potato or potato? Is it an apple or a pear? I would say, honestly, classic films, and of course those contemporary films which very fast became classic films, which I think all this year's nominees of the European Film Awards will be one day, because those movies really go down in history and are here to stay. If you could take someone from the film world out for a drink, who would it be and what would you drink? Well, you know, of course I'm gonna name somebody who unfortunately I cannot take out for a drink anymore, because he passed away way before I was in the movie industry, and it's a great Sergio Leone. And of course I would drink first a very, very good dry Italian red wine, maybe from the Piedmont region, a good Barbarello or Barbaresco, and then maybe a whiskey. And I'd love to discuss with him his masterpieces, like Once Upon a Time in the West, and the time he was, you know, shooting Next Pavilion with Federico Fellini, and how all was this going on. Front row or last row at the cinema? Well, that's a very easy one. I wear glasses, so always first row. And also in first row, I have the feeling I'm part of the movie. I'm really experienced movies. I will never forget when I saw the festival in Cannes, first row, Dance in the Dark by Lars von Trier. That was an experience. What's the perfect film for a date? Well, that's a very good question, because I would say actually that each film is perfect for a date, especially for us film professionals and film lovers. It's much safer than to go to the restaurant, because, you know, I eat meat and she is vegan and whatever, we're gonna have the first fight. So always date movies, of course, a rom-com or an action movie. Not too political, because this might get problems, but you should know that according to recent numbers, almost 60% of all films are date movies. So we are very grateful for everybody who goes on the first date to see a movie. What film you have loved to be on the set? Well, I'm not going to repeat myself with Leone, so let me say I would have loved to be on the set, of course. I'd love to be on the set of Breathless and experience Belmondo and Gene Seberg and how, you know, this Nouvelle Vague was created. Which film made you cry? Well, a lot of films. Recently, again, maybe I promote her too much, but I was really crying on Agnieszka Holland's film, and I was also crying on the current Matteo Garrone, which really moved me a lot. If you owned a cinema for one night, what would you show? That's a very good question. What would I show? I would maybe want to see the work of one filmmaker in a row, and thinking of European cinema, thinking of the European Film Academy, who founded the European Film Academy, who is not here with us anymore, Ingmar Bergman probably, but not only the dark ones, also his funny comedies, which are not so much known, you know, to have a good balance between the dark and the light. What was the first film you saw in a cinema? Well, I can tell you, of course, that it was Bambi or whatever, you know, from Disney, Happy Anniversary, but we are here in Europe, we are here in Berlin. The first film that I saw that made really an impression and really pushed me to work in the cinema field was M by Fritz Lang, and I still think that Peter Lorre did the most outstanding performance, and it's a most marvelous film, which of course also reflects a lot on the political situation back then in Germany. That was it. Thank you so much. See you soon at the awards, and thanks for having me here in Berlin for the 36th European Film Awards, if I'm not mistaken. Party on. Thank you. Bye.